Hi.
All right, well, I didn't know we were on that level. I was on the wrong wavelength.
Hi.
All right,
Whatever.
so this is the Entertournament Champions podcast, I guess. And what if I talked in only size? This is Jeff. I'm one of your three hosts. Your esteemed, college-educated. I went for a little bit. Did you go, JD?
Yeah, partially.
Did you go,
Yeah,
Kyle?
I attended.
What? No, I didn't do that
You
shit.
didn't do that at all? Two of three of us.
Combined, we don't have a full education amongst us.
We have maybe a not a bachelor's.
We're collectively
an
a
associate's.
junior.
We're collectively
Yeah.
like an associate degree, maybe.
Yeah.
I think.
It's pretty good. In art.
So we're
Art
educated
history.
in some. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm Jeff, one of your hosts. I'm joined over in Colorado. We got Kyle the Destroyer. I don't know.
I destroy hearts. That's what I do.
It's pretty epic, man, and depressing. We also have in front of my face right now,
Immediately in front of your face.
directly staring at my eyeballs, is Judd.
Hi.
It's JD.
Hello.
It's Judd Nelson from
Judd Nelson.
The Breakfast Club.
All
So
right.
tell me what it was like doing the scene with the 2 months in your mind.
Well, I had a pretty sweet black trench coat, so it was pretty good. Really.
Did you forget about me?
Yeah. Partially.
Did you?
Yeah.
Don't you?
Just a little bit.
Don't you forget about me?
Don't you?
Sorry, that was a stretch. Anyway, today we're going to talk about. This is kind of related to television, I guess. But what we do on this podcast, we rank things, and then we rank them even more,
Yeah.
and then we rank them against each other. It's Inception, rankception.
Yeah.
We take things of pretty much all mediums and rank them personally in our own personal top 10 lists. And once those are completed and we revealed those, we take an aggregate of those and turn it into like a 16-seeded tournament bracket, which we, in a following episode, debate out in a each round format, single elimination format. Mm-hmm. Until there's a champion of champions.
Oh my god.
Yeah, championception. There's a lot of septions going on today. So today, the topic that we're going to do today, we're going to reveal our individual top 10 working stand-up comedians, which means not like of all time,
Right.
Which means no dead people.
Yeah, no dead dudes or gals.
It would have been half dead people if I.
I would have been.
if I
yeah,
voted
It would have
that.
been
A lot of dead
predominantly
people on my list, yeah.
Probably.
Right.
Scary.
Probably. Jerry Seinfeld. Wait, is he dead?
No.
What's the deal with me being dead? That's one of my worst impressions. Lower on the totem pole. Oh, Jesus. JD's been starting twice in the last two. You don't have to do it again.
Yeah, I don't want to start.
Okay. I'll go first this time.
All right.
And then we'll work it amongst ourselves. So we're going to take turns. And
Cool.
One at a time. You know, I'll start with number 10, go around, and then number 9 to go around, etc. Just so everybody that's listening knows and shit. So my number 10 is... I'm suddenly feeling not confident in my list at all.
I'm not at all. Yeah, I'm really glad that y'all are going first. So if y'all say something I forgot, I can cross off someone and put it in there.
My number 10, my honorable mention is stacked for sure. But yeah, my number 10 is Anthony Jeselnik.
Ooh,
Where I
right.
went.
All right.
I think I kind of commended a lot of good writing in my top 10. And I think he's not only a great writer, but he's got one of the most unique personalities in stand-up currently. Because he's just, he's so pompous.
Yeah.
But quietly pompous. And it's funny. It's funny to see that, no doubt. But yeah, his setups are always like a misdirect. And then his punchline is always like a gut punch to the ball sack. A gut punch to the ball sack, which is two different anatomies. Whatever. Don't wrap your head around that too much. But he's always like, my sister, who I love, she's great. Whatever he does.
Yeah.
I love her my entire life. I've confided in her on this level. And, you're kind of like, okay, he's going way too far into this, lovey-dovey shit. And then it turns into like a rape joke or something, and you're like, what the fuck? And then he ends up being a big proponent in his last special Thoughts and Prayers, which is hilarious. Everybody needs to go watch it on Netflix. By the way, that's mostly what inspired this list, is all the great Netflix specials coming out this month.
Yeah.
Right.
Dave Chappelle is tomorrow, as of the time of that we drop this episode. So yeah, that definitely inspired this subject. But yeah, his Netflix special, at the end of it, he talks about his show getting canceled, and he, you know, talking about free speech and why he's always a dick on Twitter whenever a tragedy happens. And it's great, man. I know he's an up and comer to a lot of people, but I think he's kind of pretty much there at this point, for me personally. So JD, do you mind going next?
No, not at all. All right. Well, my
JD likes Carlos Mencia, so we're gonna have to.
Yeah, Carlos Mencia is totally my fave.
Don't do that to me.
No, dude. No, I wouldn't. I'm gonna do something much more ridiculous that I have no reason and no business putting as number 10 for me. He's not really like working so much because there's been probably some personal things that got in the way.
Oh God, it's not Cosby, is it?
No. No.
Got to put the rape
This
pills
person
in
has, I think, more assault problems than sexual assault, like physical assault. It's Cat Williams.
Right. That's right. I remember. Okay.
And, I mean, as a suburban white guy from Plano, I have no business liking Cat Williams at all. His stand-up is not relevant to my life in any way. But
right.
He is hysterical. Somebody had me watch The Pimp Chronicles, which is one of my favorite stand-up specials ever. He talks about weed a lot, so I like it. He makes good jokes about weed in that one. So it's more, for me, him at my number 10 is more just an homage to that particular special, because it's kind of all been downhill for him, both personally and professionally, since then. But,
yeah, there hasn't been one in a long time.
but yeah, that stand-up special to me is great. So
I haven't watched any of his stuff, to be honest with you. It's not a personality I latch onto, to be honest.
I like the swagger, but because it's fake. Like, he's overcompensating. And then when you realize how intelligent he is, he's too smart. Like, he's too smart for his own good, I think. But yeah, that's, I mean, for a different topic. His comedy, though.
Word.
Yeah. I could quote his shit forever if it were socially acceptable for me to do so. But there's
Oh, yeah. Good luck with that.
it's like, there's no point in trying, because I'm going to have to omit, like, 90% of a sentence just because there are certain words I'm not allowed to say.
My number 10, you know, I really don't know when the last time he had a special was, but I know he is still working. It's Hannibal Buress, man. I like him quite a bit. I love his cadence. I love his line delivery. And I know this isn't stand-up, but everything he does in the Eric Andre show, like those two guys working together are brilliant to me. I don't know what it is about it. It's probably I don't know, just my infinite juvenile side that just loves that shit. But
I love him.
Yeah, I think Hannibal Buress is really great. Yeah, I don't know do either of y'all know when the last special he did was?
Something
He's
from
got like
the last
3 or 4 on Netflix.
something from the last
He's
at
got
least
quite
a
a
couple
bit.
of years.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not like
I don't think it was any.
but
I don't think it was anything like in the last 6 months or anything like that. But there's some stuff on there. Yeah, you get a lot of Hannibal Buress on Netflix. So if you're unfamiliar with them,
One's
go
a
check them out.
documentary of him in Ireland or something like that.
I didn't see that.
festival. It's good because it's interesting. Like, you don't think about the stuff that comics have to go through when they go out of a country for a festival and they're by themselves, and they just have to keep replaying the festival the entire week over and over again, and they're just getting like beat down and exhausted. I think it was like a month-long thing, though. Actually, very entertaining to see a comedian go through that. He's an honorable mention for me, honestly.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Even though I have like 18 honorable mentions, that's fine though. I think he's great. I love his demeanor.
Me too. Yeah.
Like super chill.
Well, he's almost got that like Mitch Hedberg type like delivery where I'm just saying it. I'm just saying the joke, you know.
Literally just saying it, and if you laugh, great. That's great.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good for you. So I guess I'm next, and my number 9, further commending a lot of great writing here, is Dimitri Martin.
oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if
Good.
he made it on anybody's list. We'll find out. But Dimitri Martin is just all around a talented fucking guy. He's not higher because some of his jokes are like, he says them and then he's like, oh, okay. Like, he realizes that didn't land, you know? It happens to the best of them. But, yeah, most of his stuff, though, is so insanely smart. Dumb, but in a smart way.
Yeah.
Like when he talks about batteries and he's like, hey, can I get some B batteries, please? And they're like, did you just have a stroke? What's going on with you? It's like, that's so stupid. But I laughed. Like, it's looking at stupid things in life through a smart, intelligent lens. Those mean the same thing. I like Dimitri Martin's musical approach and his drawings.
Yeah. What was the show on Comedy Central where he was kind of just starting out, where it was nothing but like written, or it used that element? I can't remember the name.
It was like a one. I know what you're talking about. It was like a one-word special, and it had like it was like something and then a period.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it though. But the one that's on Netflix that came out like last year or the year before that was called is called Live, and then it says in parentheses at the time, which I thought was a genius title. It's full of great jokes. Yeah, man, he's just great in his deliveries and his setups, and just a great writer. And again, a persona thing where like he's super dry, kind of like, along the same lines as like Hannibal Buress. He's good at crowd work too. Like in one of his CDs recently, like 2 or 3 years ago, he did some crowd work, like just totally fucked with people in such a great, rewarding way. I don't know. It just felt, I don't know, natural. He's just a natural, funny person.
Yeah.
And that's always the hardest thing to get, to attain. So, JD next? JD, you're next?
Yeah,
you're
I'm
number
gonna
9?
go next. So this one actually he was going to be in my honorable mentions, but reliving the anger at which this man lives with on a day-to-day basis. I've only seen one special of his.
I know, me too!
It's Chris Porter. Kyle, are you familiar with him? He's on Netflix.
Let me see if I can't pull up a picture. Keep talking and I'll let you know.
Redneck guy with a curly fro and a bunch of fucking rage. This guy, I was telling you, like, he just reacts to the kind of mundane, stupid things that people in casual encounters say. Like, he'll be on a date and somebody will be like, hey, or some random person will walk up, excuse me, is that the elevator over there? And he just looks at him like, you fucking kidding me? Like, like that's his whole shtick is just
mad.
You fucking shitting me? That's what it is. Yeah, it's
you fucking
shitting me. And it's
never
just,
even seen this person before.
Okay, check it out,
dude.
It's a one-off thing. I don't know if he's done anything great other than that, but it's definitely.
I listened to
worth
his
a
first
watch.
CD. He recycles not a lot of it, like maybe like a quarter of it for the special on Netflix.
Yeah,
but a lot of it's still great.
Yeah,
like it's just his entire act, his shtick just works for me.
Yeah,
it just makes me laugh. It's one of those specials you finish and you go back and want to watch.
Oh, for sure,
immediately again.
For sure,
it's great.
So I'm glad I was motivated to sneak him in there. I'm gonna watch that one as soon as I get home.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, yeah, it's that good. Yeah.
I hope he makes the 16 because that's a weight of one special carrying him through the whole fucking thing.
It is. Well, I guess we won't need an honorable mention to probably put into our preliminary matchups that we'll discuss further later.
Yeah.
Because our top 10s are probably going to be totally different.
I think so.
So, Kyle, what's your number 9?
My number 9, he really shouldn't even be on here because he hasn't had a special in so long, but he just got out of Vegas and has been doing the road for the last 2 or 3 years now. I think he's kind of struggling to kind of get a special going and stuff like that. So who knows if we'll ever see anything new. It's the Amazing Jonathan. It's one of the very first guys ever. Yeah, it's one of the very first guys I really got into. Exactly. He's a super old comic, and he's still still a working comic, and unfortunately when you go to Vegas and you get used to doing your same shtick, night in and night out, it's hard for you to get back out there and start making new shticks. So, but he's still someone I really respect a lot and I have a lot of fun. And I hate prop comimics. I hate them.
Yeah, me
fucking
too.
hate them.
Oh, I recognize this dude. I recognize this dude for sure.
He's really hilarious and just really raunchy, really mature. Just it's good stuff. I really enjoy him. He would have been way up higher if we were talking, maybe of all time or something like that. But we're talking working. It's hard to consider him working, but he's struggling and trying. So,
okay. I remember watching one of his earliest specials, maybe even his first one on Comedy Central.
Like the 30-minute one.
Yeah, when I was like, we were like in middle school or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, he was so funny because he was like playing on, and at that time, magic specials were happening regularly.
Yeah.
On network television. And
he was
absolutely just mocking that.
Just mocking David Blaine and all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. He did it so well too, even to the point where like it's kind of like the way Penn and Teller does it, except they do like real magic. And some of his stuff is real magic.
Yeah. Oh, some of his stuff's really good. Like, how the fuck did he do that? But it's not. Yeah. It's not about that. Yeah.
But then sometimes the end of it just ends up being a dumb punchline where it's like.
Yeah, ridiculous. Or him flicking off the audience or something. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, right. Like, I'm gonna pull a bird out of this cage.
Yeah, he just pulls like a middle finger out. Just stupid gags. Yeah.
I've always liked him.
It's funny though.
So my number 8 is Mike Gabigaboo.
Gabigaboo.
That's one of my favorite jokes of his. Mike Birbiglia is my number 8. That was from like his first CD, his first special, where he talks about somebody introducing him on one of his sets, He's like, they can never pronounce his name right or whatever, and they're like, Mike. Oh man, Kabigaboo.
He's great.
He
is so great.
His first special was funny because there was a lot of it was just jokes, and the way that Mitch Hedberg used to deliver them. Where there's no segues, it's just jokes. There's some of them were situational, but then he turned into like this extravagant stage performer.
Yeah.
I don't know when that happened, but his storytelling abilities are just probably the best in the game in my opinion.
Yeah.
Currently.
The last 10 minutes of that current special was like callback,
Exactly.
improv callback. And you're like,
exactly.
This is beautiful.
He's a pro, man, and not to mention he's a great filmmaker and writer. For Don't Think Twice and what's the other one, Kyle? Sleepwalk with Me?
Sleepwalk with Me, yeah.
It's a great movie. Those are both tremendous movies people should absolutely seek out and watch somehow, some way, totally legally. But he's got a presence on Netflix. His old one, his very first one is there, I think. And then he's got one that's just came out. I can't remember the name of it. I'm just going to call it Mike Birbiglia. And then I think one of them's called My Girlfriend's Boyfriend. That's kind of an older one. Three of them there are pretty much just storytelling type of formats. And there's just an extremely long payoff at the end of the thing that kind of recalls back to the first story he was telling at the beginning of the show. I think the new special is the one where he talks about his experience with the director David O. Russell.
Does he mention him by name?
Yes. Because this is a famous director for having a shouting match with one of his actors.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I just want you to do the fucking shot, bitch, and all that stuff, Kyle, he's the guy who did, The Fighter, I think, and what else did he direct? The Fighter, American Hustle.
Holy crap.
Yeah, he's a good director.
Yeah.
He did this movie, I Heart Huckabees, which I did not heart at all. Yeah. Very much livered that movie. And... There's a good anatomy joke. You're welcome. All right, so he I don't know. I don't know how it was caught. If somebody on the crew, some dissatisfied person on the crew, just leaked it to the tubes, or whatever. But he had a shouting match with one of his actors, and Mike Birbiglia just has a really great story about that. Yeah, it's so great. And it's 100% true because I googled it right after and I was like,
nice.
Oh my god, that is so crazy. It's great, man. So JD, what is your numero ocho?
My numero ocho is a shout out to little guys, kind of in a literal sense, because this comedian happens to be a dwarf and he is hysterical. His name is Brad Williams. I've seen a couple stand-up specials of his recently on Showtime, I think. And, dude, they get me laughing every time because he's creative within the shtick of being a dwarf. Like, it's real easy to sit up there and just be like, oh my god, I can't reach the top cabinet. But, he's fucking creative as shit. And he even makes that same joke.
That's your little person voice?
Oh my god, look at
I know the Pee Wee Hermans running around everywhere.
So, he makes one joke. He's like, people come up to me all the time and they're like, Brad, how do you make jokes? And he's like, it's real easy. I wake up and I just let shit happen. And he's like, just invites funny things.
Right.
And he's like, it's not like it's a set time of day. I don't look at my watch like, 3:00, funny shit's about to happen. But his whole demeanor is hysterical. He's got great stories. And, I like watching self-deprecating humor. And, there's no more...
Yeah, I love
it doesn't
that
get more self-deprecating than being a dwarf and making fun of it after time.
Birbiglia is a good one for self-deprecation. Yep. There's a lot of that in here.
Might talk about him later. I don't know.
Brad Williams, though, that's one of the names that I think you showed me your list briefly. I don't remember.
Yeah, and you didn't recognize.
Yeah. But I was like, Brad Williams, is that like your neighbor? What the fuck? You can't just say, I know a guy.
Yeah, it's like, this dude, we share stories over beers. And
he's just really funny.
He's got this great bit about his bitch wife that's just the worst. It's the worst. He's the best.
Oh my god.
Sorry, just ended.
So Kyle, what's your number 8?
My number 8, we actually just talked about him a second ago. Anthony Jeselnik.
Fucking awesome! I'm so glad he made it, man.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Because in a world where we're overly PC, this guy's not steering away from anything.
No, he's steering into it completely.
It's staring into it exactly, using it as fuel for his comedy. It's good stuff, man. And I just really like him. I can't really say anything more than what you already said. I just echo everything that you said. I think he's a brilliant joke writer, and just he strings you along in ways that, like, you realize you're being strung along. So you're like, this is the rape comic, you know? Like, why are we talking about this, like, you know, lovey-dovey subject you were saying, like, earlier? You know, then bam, then he hits you with something, and you're still not ready for it. You know?
Right. You're even you're like, oh man,
God, I can't believe he did that.
So much worse than I even imagined.
And his show was hilarious and short-lived. So.
Oh yeah, the Jeselnik Offensive. That was a great show.
That's right.
Yeah,
oh my
really
god. And I think there was he talks about it on his special Thoughts and Prayers. There was something that resulted in, like, they were doing a segment. I don't know if it aired or if it was going to air, and they got in trouble for it. And they were like, "You have to pull the segment," and he was like, "No, I'm not going to do that." All right, then. Well, I guess you're done working here.
But did they air it?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure they did. If I remember the controversy right, they did air it.
Was it an ISIS like type of I don't know, quote unquote insensitive to a certain religion? Like it was talking about terrorism and stuff, and the religion that they practice, I guess, in
I have
ISIS.
to research that.
I'm trying to remember the circumstances. I think it was something along those lines because of South Park.
Yeah.
You know, with the whole drawing Muhammad thing.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Or not drawing Muhammad, but they were going to, I guess, draw Muhammad, and then it turned into a whole episode of just bleeps. I feel like that was part of the shtick for South Park, but the writers, they swear that was not them, that was the network.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I thought it was genius, the fact that we're going, you know, Kyle's like, not you, Kyle, South Park Kyle. He's like, you know, I learned something today. And then it's just a speech that's just bleeped out.
Yeah.
Entirely. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
And the creators are like, no, that wasn't us. We wrote this whole great speech about, you know, you shouldn't be scared of this and that and the third. And that was the network just censoring us because of fear. And
wow.
Yeah. So Jeselnik was just like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing the South Park thing.
That's crazy.
And they were like, okay, well, I guess you can find employment elsewhere then. Yeah, I love it. Like I said before, I like his chill manner, and he's even with that manner, he's still quick on his feet.
Yeah,
like during the roast battle stuff.
Oh man, yeah, that was great.
He's just relentless.
Yeah,
he was good in that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe miss him.
I guess. Oh, that's me next. Sorry. My number 7 is probably one of the best writers in comedy. Extremely quick-witted. Very, very, very self-deprecating to the point where he calls himself the dork. He's very dorky. His name is Mike Kaplan, and that's MYQ Kaplan. Yeah, I don't know if that's his given name or if it's just a stage name, but he's really funny, and I would be surprised if you guys haven't heard of him because he was on Last Comic Standing and he's been making late night talk show rounds.
I recognize him.
Yeah.
Who is he? Say his name again.
It's Mike Kaplan. That's MYQ.
M.
Yeah, that's how he spells his name, is MYQ.
Okay.
He looks like if...
Negative.
Negative? Oh, bummer, dude. He's
never even heard of him, yeah.
He does have a special on Netflix, and he's just rapid-fire jokes, man, and they're genius. They like, probably 50-60% of them take a second. You know, like, he tells a joke, and you're like, that's so funny.
Okay.
I'll have to check him out.
He's a very rewarding comic that way. Makes you feel smarter for having gotten the joke. And then right after he tells a joke like that, he rapid fires like 3 more in succession, and you're like, there's a lot to wrap your brain around with this guy.
Yeah.
He's the type of comic that you watch a special of, and then you have to watch it like right after to see if you missed anything.
Pick back up on what you missed.
Yeah. So he's just incredibly intelligent. So, JD, what is your number 7, man?
All right, my number 7 is a musical comedian. I don't know how popular he is stateside, but Tim Minchin is my number 7.
Hello.
He's a really funny dude, man. I like his song Taboo, and I started following him on Twitter. He's a really good follower there. A couple years back, he takes a good stance on social issues. And
okay. I've never seen stand up. I've seen him in things. I've seen him as an actor.
I've seen clips on YouTube. I don't think I've ever seen a special per se. Yeah, I've just seen little bits here and there.
He's kind of got a Russell. Are you looking him up, Kyle?
I am, yeah.
Okay, yeah. He's kind of got a Russell Brand vibe. Yeah.
He's currently doing or preparing to do Groundhog Day on Broadway.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's a thing. And it's not a cartoon,
it his production?
It's live action. Sorry.
JD was telling me earlier about this guy, and he was like,
it's a live action
he's doing
play.
a live action Groundhog Day. And I'm like, was there a cartoon version? I'm very confused by this. The way you phrase that.
I'll blame that one on the alcohol.
Alcohol.
But yeah, his song "Taboo" is a good place to get started because takes you through a little journey, a little bit.
Yeah.
It thinks about one thing and it's about another, and it's just funny.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's another musical comedian that I'm going to talk about later.
Oh, okay, I'll probably know who it is.
Maybe.
But
he does a lot of that.
Yeah.
Where the song title or the song takes you on a journey. It starts as like a generic love song.
Yeah.
And then it turns into like, I don't know, something completely fucked up. It's just really funny. Anyway, so Kyle, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is it's Sarah Silverman, man.
Oh,
Sarah
fucking
Silverman.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I her, what was it, on Showtime or HBO? What was her last special on?
HBO, I think.
Whatever it was, that one was really, really good. It was really intimate. It was like with a really small audience.
Yes, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
Very subtle, very, very good. And she's just the queen, man. She's like my queen of comedy. I find her so fucking hilarious. And I loved her show. Y'all ever watch her show back in the day?
No, I did not.
Bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces of it. Still holds up. Like it's very funny. It's super funny. Just really just bizarre humor or whatever. But yeah, I think she's great, and I know she's got stuff on the horizon. She's been really politically distracted recently, but
Distracted, yes.
yeah, but she's gonna be back on board, and I think she's got something in the works. I forget where that's headed, but I'm eager to see more of her. I'm always eager to see more of her.
She's a hard honorable mention for me.
Good.
I mean
You
that
said
to sound
hard on.
Hard on. It's a hard on, man.
She's a hard on. Honorable
Man.
mention.
She would appreciate that joke. So
I don't know.
She would.
Not enough abortion in that joke.
oh no,
Let me tell you about abortion.
such
Let
an
me
expert.
tell you.
You're such an
last
expert.
episode.
Yeah.
That's so terrible.
Oh my God.
All right, but yeah, she's great, and primarily because of that last special. I haven't seen any of her specials before that, even though
Yeah.
some of them are.
They're
One of
good.
them specifically is very much highly acclaimed.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it. I can't remember what it's called. Miracles.
I can't either.
I've seen
Miracle.
that one. Or like Tiny Miracles,
Or that might have been the recent one.
Tiny Miracles was the recent one, I
It's
think.
something with Jesus in the name. I think Jesus is in the name of the special that's highly acclaimed.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of it though.
Okay.
Anyway, or God is.
I know which one
something.
you're talking about.
You know
but
what
I
I'm
can't
talking
put
about?
the
Yeah,
name
I can
together
picture the title, the
Yeah.
poster. It's very carnival-esque.
yet.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's
Yeah,
right.
and I heard that one was amazing, and I need to see it. But yeah, she's always been funny. Just funny demeanor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carries herself not in a funny way. That sounds wrong. But when she's just doing interviews, things take a hard left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, completely.
For sure.
When she just like pulled out a blunt, like while someone was interviewing her, she just like took out her pen and just started like smoking like wax in
That
this
was,
person's face.
I know Zach Galifianakis did that.
She definitely did too. Yeah, I don't remember Zach
Trying to
Galifianakis
think
doing
of
it.
He did it on
It's
Bill
hilarious.
Maher, and they were like, they were asking Bill Maher, "Is that real? Is that real?" And Bill Maher was like, "Oh, that's real. That's totally real, man." And then after the show, they were like, "Oh, it was fake," and I was like, "No, it was real. I'm pretty sure it was real."
Yeah.
Because they were talking about legalizing,
Yeah.
and Galifianakis was just like, "You know what? Let me tell you guys about legalizing." And then he just pulls out the blunt and starts smoking, like it's as if it's a regular thing. Like,
Yeah.
I just think that like, and he just keeps going, like nothing's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, but he can pull it off.
That's right. Yeah.
He's great. So my number 6 is another female in comedy. Probably the only one here in this dude fest, this sausage party of mine.
Yeah. No shit.
She's just naturally. She doesn't even have to tell a joke. She's just funny. It's Tig Notaro.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
She's just funny. Like she's so
And
fucking hilarious.
When you know her story, too,
Yeah.
it just amplifies that.
Yeah.
Not that
Absolutely.
pity or anything plays into it at
no,
all.
it's the way that she's.
It's just the way that she's carried on through it
Yeah,
all. You know,
exactly.
it's admirable as shit.
Right.
Louis C.K. was like really...
Yeah, you could hear him in the crowd in the
Big supporter
during
of
that
hers.
special because he was there and a lot of comedians were there.
Yeah.
I think it was just one of those nights that a lot of comedians went there, not specifically for her,
Right.
but it ended up being a monumental night for her
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
she turned an immediate tragedy about her
Into-
her mom dying and she had C. diff.
Yeah.
And she's diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah.
I think she found out that day that she had cancer.
Right.
And I think it's funny that the Pete Holmes show Crashing. Do you watch that, JD?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No,
Oh,
no.
man, it's good. It's on
Good.
HBO.
Okay.
They alluded to that. They were like, well, Tig Notaro said she had cancer like the day of. It can turn into a big thing. And Pete Holmes was like, cool, I'll talk about that. So my girlfriend, what is it, his wife or his girl? My
His wife,
just cheated
yeah.
on me. literally today. And it would just end up being depressing. Like, he was just
and uncomfortable.
So,
Okay.
Exactly.
Crashing?
Right, Crashing.
Okay.
Judd Apatow produced or executive produced
How
that
did I
show.
miss that one, man? Such an HBO.
Pretty good.
It's
only like
so
4
good,
episodes
yeah.
in. I dig it so
like
far.
Cool.
Tig's show is great too on Amazon. One Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much a version of her life because she's from a southern state like that, where it's just like you think hi y'all and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you don't think of somebody like Tig Notaro. She said this herself in her stand-up, coming from a state like that,
Right.
and like being generally happy in life.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't even spoil it for anybody, and she kind of it's part of her bit too, where she's like, I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm gay.
Yeah.
And then people will laugh because it's so funny the uncomfortable situation she puts her audience in.
Yeah.
Because you don't know whether to laugh or not.
Right.
And then she'll like look at whoever's laughing and go, I know, sir, it's a shock. I know it's very surprising. You're really bummed out right now. She's so fucking funny in every environment she's put in, man. It's just, it was hard for me to not put her on this list. I think of her recently on a talk show where she's just talking with Ethan Hawke or somebody. No, it was Aaron Paul, I think. One of the two white dudes. One of these two white dudes.
Yo.
And, bitch. And, yo. That's my Aaron Paul. That's about as deep as that gets. She was trying to coerce them into telling a story about how they auditioned for something. I'm trying to remember who it was because they were extremely embarrassed.
Yeah.
And she just kept prodding them it was somebody that was trying to do stand-up. And they said, yeah, I did stand-up once, and I'm never doing it again. She was like, you did stand-up? What was one of your jokes? And they said one of their jokes. She was like, it was something stupid, like I went to the grocery. You never notice how you're at the grocery store and the plastic bags are just blah. It was some bit about plastic bags, and it wasn't funny. But Tig could make it funny because she's Tig.
Yeah.
She was like, I want to use that in my bits. I want to use that on my set. Do you mind if I use that? And he's like, no, go for it. And she's like, okay, well, I was at the grocery store the other day, and the bags are just, fucking just flying around. And everybody's just laughing. Like, she just turns generic shit into goddamn, what is it, chicken shit and chicken salad?
Yeah.
That's exactly what she does, man. She's
Sweet.
She's so good. I can't sing her praises enough. Anyway, hope she makes 16. We're all gonna have such different top fives. I think.
I get down on. Well,
I don't think you could.
that sounds.
I don't know. Unless she let you.
I get down on that one, man.
She also had a special recently on HBO or Showtime, one of those two.
Yeah.
And where she took her shirt off for 15 minutes of it. And this is where this is post surgery, so
right.
she doesn't have anything. She doesn't have any. She didn't have any damn titties. That's terrible to say. Sorry. But yeah, I was just, and then she it was hilarious because she was like, I'm just gonna get comfortable, and she took off her shirt and people applauded.
Yeah.
And then she just went into an airplane food joke. It was so great because it was such an awkward setting, and she's like, airline food's weird. What the fuck?
What?
It was so great. Anyway, you would think I should have ranked her higher, considering how much I talked about her. JD, what's your number 6?
Well, my number 6 is an undeniable fan of women across the board, so perfect to follow Tig Notaro. It's Bill Burr.
Oh, okay.
That was sarcasm.
Never noticed that. That's my Bill Burr impression.
What is that?
That's my Bill Burr impression.
No, that was not.
Oh my god.
You stubbed your toe or something.
Now, I will preface it that he's higher on my list because of his older shit. His first 3 real big specials are some of my favorites all time. His newer stuff, not so much.
That's the only stuff I've watched.
Just watch Bill Burr with hair. If he still has hair, it's
watch
quality.
it. Okay.
Post hair, not so much. The black and white one, nah, not really a fan. But the most recent one, I think from 2012 or 2013, called "You People Are All the Same," is the culmination of the first 2 specials, and a lot of the jokes long term pay off from the first couple, and it's funny stuff, man. I like his voices. I like his stupid little faces. He makes me giggle. He makes me giggle. He makes me giggle real good. I love when he talks about getting a gun. You haven't seen this one though,
no,
so I won't spoil it for you.
Well, just tell me all the fucking jokes, JD.
It's at the beginning of the special. Just watch it. It's the first thing.
I do need to watch his older specials because I watched the one that just dropped on Netflix, and it made me laugh twice.
Yeah,
and I just couldn't. I just can't latch onto this dude's material. Kyle, do Do you like Bill Burr?
I like him in everything but his stand-up. I like him when he's on podcasts. I like him when he's interacting.
Bad,
I like him when he's interacting with Joe Rogan. I like him when he's at the Ice House. I like him anytime he's being recorded and not like when he's not in stage mode. He's just like in busting balls mode, you know?
Yeah. He's doing late night interviews, especially with Conan, because Conan knows how to like move a conversation along.
Right.
Bill Burr can go. He can go for miles, and it's hilarious to watch. Yeah. But in stand-up mode, it's just when he doesn't have somebody else to play off of. It's something about it just doesn't.
That's the thing. I think he shines when he's playing off of someone, or just decimating someone. You know. That's fair.
So he's not going to be the 16, JD. Stop talking about him.
What?
Get over it.
I'm kidding. So, Kyle, what's your number 6, man?
My number 6 is, I guess you could call him a new guy on the block, but I've been watching him for a bit now. Ari Shaffir. Big fan. I don't know if he's got any stuff on Netflix right now. I think he might have one. I think he might have one 1 hour special. I'm not 100% sure. Good stuff though, man. I actually learned about him through the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, and he's been like really, really young, like doing the stand up, and he's just now getting a name for himself. He has to host a show on Comedy Central called This Is Not Happening, and he has a whole bunch of people on, and they just tell stories on like a themed night, you know. So like this night's about the time I got beat up, and everyone goes up on stage and tells a story about the time they got beat up. And he's always got a story, always kills. He's a great storyteller comic, but he's also just a really, really good like joke writer and everything. Also, he's notorious for like busting the balls of TSA agents. All he does is, sure, you're going to take off your shoes? No, I'm a germaphobic, and there's no way you're legally allowed to let me take off my shoes. We're going to have to step over here. Gladly, I got here 4 hours early to give you shit, so... And he'll sit there and scream at them, and, like, he'll get there early just to, like be detained and stuff like that. It's so ridiculous. He also had a really good snafu where he was, like, putting edibles... like in different towns that he was doing comedy in, and one I think like it was a town that it was 100% illegal in, and he ended up getting caught because all these people kept on going to like the women's section of this J.C. Penney's, like in like the socks area or whatever, and they were like digging through trying to find this edible, like dozens and dozens and dozens of people, until somebody called the police, and the police confronted him about it and ended up letting him go. But like, yeah, it was this whole thing. It's hilarious. He just always gets like in these like ridiculous situations and turns it into comedy, man. Puts it in his special, uses it as his muse and everything. So just a big fan of that guy.
Yeah, JD watches his show.
Yeah,
and I don't.
He never.
Yeah, dude, that's a great show. That show's awesome.
It's some of the guests are kind of hit or miss with me, but Ari's stories are always great.
Oh yeah,
actually.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorites was the one with the guy that was telling the story of the what did he steal her dress? You remember that one? It was really early this season.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeff, you gotta watch it. Squeeze it in the
guys. I think you'd like it, Jeff, because it's a really good way to like get your eyes on a whole bunch of people. Like in like you're gonna see 4 comics in 30 minutes. You know, it's a really good way just to get a whole bunch of people in the 30-minute frame.
Yep.
The last episode we did was TV reboot or TV reboots or revivals.
Reboots, revivals, yeah.
Yeah, that we wanted to see, whatever. And it was some really fun stuff there. We mentioned this guy.
Okay.
Quite a bit. My number 5 is David Chappelle.
Oh. I'm aware of David.
David Chappelle.
Yeah. I'm familiar with him.
As we said in the last episode.
I believe I've butchered his name before.
David. Yes, David.
David.
Yes. David, do grab the... So, Dave Chappelle's my number 5. Cool. He's just got such a distinct voice in comedy that is needed any time you can think of. Like, every time, even if things are good, you're like, I wonder what Chappelle would say about this. He would find some negative shit to say that you're like, didn't think about.
Yeah.
And put things in a new perspective for you. I mean, it's not just that. I mean, it's kind of like a George Carlin aspect where, he helps you kind of reevaluate things that's happening in the world.
Yeah.
But he does it obviously with more jokes wrapped around them, more in a sarcastic, jokey way that I just really love. And he ranks so high too, especially because his show was just killer. And I think we have to consider all bodies of work here when we're talking about working stand-up comics. His show is fucking awesome. I am utterly thrilled to hear his 2 specials on Netflix.
Can't wait.
It's going to be frigging awesome. And I'm a little worried. One of them was like 2 years ago, pre-Trump, and Another one was
that's right.
maybe before he won. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of stuff we're gonna get, man.
We'll see.
It's gonna be very interesting. But he does have a third one contracted with them, so we should get one later.
Cool.
This year, it sounds like.
Can't wait.
The year of Chappelle, man. The dude is back, and I am fucking psyched about it.
Awesome.
I imagine we're gonna talk about him maybe a little bit more.
Maybe.
So, DJ JD.
Yo, DJ JD.
What's your number 5?
I'm going down under for this pick.
All right.
This guy's offensive as shit. It's Jim Jeffries.
Oh, nice.
I like him, man. He's definitely not for everybody.
I like his. What's his show?
Oh shit.
It got canceled.
Legit.
Yes. That's a great show.
Fantastic show. And actually, that's probably why he's higher on my list, because his stand-up is good.
His stand-up's pretty good, yeah.
But the show, actually, I could watch that show all day, every day.
Yeah.
It's a good one. He was telling jokes that, like, I'd never heard anybody say before. Like 5 or 6 years ago, like, he told a joke about it. It's like, if I was Muslim, I'd have a turban so high it tickled Allah's nutsack. I'm like, what the fuck is that? That's great. I would never think of that.
Yeah,
so.
he's a funny dude.
Yeah.
I like Legit a lot. Like, a lot. And I assume he wrote most of it.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of it. Yeah. Like, it's his baby.
Yeah, it's kind of like, Louis C.K.'s.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a self-portrayal
All right,
this fiction.
Yeah, all right.
But yeah,
I don't know how
because he looks like just a normal dude.
He does.
And he's got that, like, just everyday vibe about him, and then he just says some shit.
Are you familiar with the Jeffries of Jim Jeffries, Kyle?
Oh, only familiar. I've never heard a single one of his comedies. Never watched one of his shows.
It's raunchy.
Only by name. Yeah, only by name do I know him.
All right.
He's fucking raunchy, that one. He says the C word a lot.
Yes. Oh yeah.
All the time. Even as a term of endearment.
Heavy on the C word. Even after he had a kid.
Like, that changes?
Like, well, it could.
It could.
It could.
Okay.
It can give you a new perspective on things, but no, he talks so much shit about that kid. It's great. I love it.
That is great.
Okay.
My number, Kyle's number 5. There we go.
Man, we almost synchronized. By the way, Jeff, because I have a Dave as well, and it ends in L, but it's Dave Attell instead of Chappelle.
Really?
Yeah. So Dave Attell, man, yeah, he's one of my all-time favorites. I love this guy. He may even be higher if he would have had a special in the last 3 or 4 years, but he does a lot of hosting work. He does a lot of like New York gigs and stuff like that. He still works. He's a working comedian. But he just doesn't have, that big, like, 1 hour special that, like, some of these other guys have. But he's always been one of my favorites. I love this show, Insomniac. I just absolutely love that show. I love how dirty he is. We get a little bit of him in one of my honorable mentions, Big J. Okerson. But no one does Attell like Attell does. And, and I've been listening to a lot of, like, interviews and stuff like that from comedians lately and other comedians on podcasts. And they always bring up Attell as a big inspiration, So I don't know. It's just he's a well-loved guy in the community. I'm a huge fan of him. I'll beat the drum for him all day. So number 5 for me.
Cool. All right. I don't have anything.
Yeah, I watched Insomniac a lot.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't watch any.
Back in the day. I was a little too young probably for
It's an old show, yeah.
Yeah, we used to watch when I would sleep over at Kozar's house.
Oh my god.
Yeah, his brother would watch it.
We have sleepovers.
Seriously, it was braiding hair and then Insomniac. Amazing.
My number, we're at 4 already. Woo! Just powering through. My number 4 is another guy who's kind of pushing boundaries with his comedy. It's Daniel Tosh.
Okay.
Okay.
He's just an incredibly smart writer, I think. And he's just one of those guys where it's even by his own words. Doesn't do segues. Like in one of his, he's like, I don't do segues. Get used to it. Well, the other day I was at the mall. No, you weren't. Do your joke. I love that about him, actually. But yeah, his last one that he did, not Happy Thoughts. Can't even remember the name of it now. Incredibly raunchy. Jokes about 9/11.
Yeah.
Shit like that. That were just like, he was just trying to get the audience to go, just like Anthony Jeselnik does.
Yeah.
But in a more sophisticated way, like in a smarter way, because Jeselnik's just going for the button pushing, he's just going for the face punching jokes, basically. And Tosh is, I don't know, he's got a nerdy way about his jokes, about his comedy. You can tell he's very OCD and careful with his jokes. He's just, he's just so good at crafting his jokes. I've said jokes so many times, it's like making my head swirl. But Daniel Tosh is really great. I don't watch Tosh.0. It kind of like wore out its welcome for me.
Yes.
After like year 3.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that show has really soured my opinion on him. Unfortunately,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like his stand-up comedy, but like
Yeah.
now, whenever someone brings up Daniel Tosh, I'm like, oh, he's so wrapped up in that show now. It sucks, you know.
Yeah, it
like I
does.
would love for him to be like a working comedian because he's got a whole writing staff for that show. That's not obviously all his jokes like that, which I have no problem with that. That's a TV show.
Yeah,
But like, man, I want him again. You know, like
Yeah.
him and just him and his comedy. And Tosh.0 is not that for me.
Right.
So
His stand-up last year was fucking awesome.
it was
And
good. I
needed.
really like that.
Yeah.
What a return.
Yeah.
You know, to kind of what I like about him. So
Exactly. And that's why I felt like putting him so high, and especially because of his first special that he did, which is one I listened to on repeat, non-fucking stop.
Yeah.
It's
that
such a
Superman
strong
joke is one I
special.
tell all the time. The one he's asking where he's asking the nerd, like, hey, explain to me how Superman flies faster, and then I'll talk to you about what a vagina feels like.
Yeah, when he's like, how does he fly faster? Is it more this?
Yeah,
And then he just
he
pushes
just puts his
arms out
hands
more.
out. Yeah, he's like, ugh, just go faster.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's a good joke.
JD, what's your number 4, man?
All right. Well, we already talked about this guy,
Uh-oh.
Mr. Maker. Did you get that?
Make it bigger.
Yeah, just that.
Okay.
Mikey B.
Joey Bags.
Joey Bags. I watched his newest special for the first time last night, and we had talked about him earlier, Jeff. I remember, and I think I'd seen one of his movies previously, and sort of familiar with his specials, but having gone back and revisiting him, like kind of like what you were saying earlier, guy's just grown a shitload over the last 5 years ish.
Yeah, he has.
So yeah, definitely all the joke crafting and just the cleverness, and he's just adorable. He's just
adorable.
He's just
want to
got
wrap
this,
him up in your
like,
pocket.
I just can't help but smile when I'm looking at him.
Yeah.
Like I noticed that when I was watching the special. I'm just like, I'm smiling for everybody that can't see me right now. Sorry. Like creepy. No, he's just really fun, and he's really easy to watch, and he's clean, but deliberately so. And he doesn't curse
except for the last
a whole lot.
special. Yeah.
Right. Well, obviously,
'Cause he was
that
making a
was
point.
the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the point of emphasis.
Yeah, he says
on
it
that one.
a lot, Kyle. He says fuck and whatever.
Oh man, how jarring! I wouldn't even know what to do with that.
I know, right? But he says it because it's in the context of David O.
Right.
Russell's outburst.
Right. And that he gets hired by a lot of places that are so not normal just because he's
Clean.
Generally a
That's
clean
all they
comic.
look at is clean.
right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what the subject matter is. It's just, he doesn't curse. Let's put him in a church.
It's like Jim Gaffigan talks
Oh.
about that too.
Yeah. You're kind of
You're always
typecast.
putting me in that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give them
Yeah.
what they want to hear. I'm going to talk about my kids all the time.
Yeah. So I definitely think he deserved the top spot for me. So
I agree.
Had to put him there.
Great pick.
Thank you.
Great pick.
Well, thank you, sir.
What's your number 4, Kate?
My number 4. I've always loved this guy, inspired by this guy, but never have like his stand-up comedy was never like stratospheric like levels of laughs per minute or anything. But Joe Rogan, man, his last stand-up comedy last year, really fucking funny. Yeah, it was
that was a
really.
good
It was
one.
this year. Was it this
good.
year?
No, it was last year. You're right.
Okay, it was last year. No, that's right. I thought it was really hilarious, and that actually one like had a lot of like laugh out loud moments. Not to say his previous specials weren't funny; they're just more like, aha, yeah, that's a clever joke there you just did there, you know. But they were never like, you know, like, oh, I'm billowing with laughter. This one it was, and that when I think about him and what he means to stand up and stuff like that, and how he like the whole Mencia thing, how he's so protective over like comedy, and how
He's
he
the enforcer,
can.
man.
Exactly, but also he's like a father figure. He conditions new comedians and like gives them the audience they need to be put in front of, and like your Ari Shafirs, like your Tom Segura's, like those guys, you know, who are huge now, you know, thanks to him. And I think that's really awesome. So just on the stage, he's really hilarious, but like what he means for comedy as well is such a big deal. And it's comedy that comes off a little dude bro hit or miss sometimes, but
It can.
it absolutely can. But you know, I think that you know, he gets pushed up a little more for me just because of what he means in the community as well, and what he's done for comedy and comedians.
Right. Yeah, he's done a lot for the world of comedy. I can see. Yeah, I can see the argument for him deserving a high placement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit! I guess I'm next. This one's gonna be tougher to explain because everybody's gonna know him from movies now.
Okay.
And he hasn't done stand-up. I guess he hasn't done it in a while. So I guess I shouldn't have ranked him this high. But once upon a time, Zach Galifianakis was a stand-up comedian.
Oh man,
Do you guys remember?
was he? You guys remember that 20 years ago?
I don't think I ever experienced any stand-up of his when it was fresh. It's all been in retrospect.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I have that opinion of him. He is a
still
stand-up comedian.
he still does
but,
a lot of
yeah.
shticks when he's on like late night talk shows and stuff. There's always a joke that he's doing.
Yeah.
That's like his outlet for comedy now, I guess, when he's not doing movies. And of course, he's got Baskets as well. That show on FX.
Yeah.
Which is very bizarre. Less funny, just more bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Louis Anderson is his mom in that. That tells you anything.
I haven't watched the second season. I watched the first, but
I watched like 3 episodes of the second season, and I was just kind of like, this is just bizarre.
Yeah. I've watched the first half of the first season. And was like, yeah, this is not my kind of weird.
Cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
Cheap biscuits.
I do like Louis Anderson in it, but beyond that, I'm kind of like, I don't know, I just couldn't gravitate towards it. But yeah, man, his stand-up, I guess I shouldn't have kind of put him in here because he didn't qualify. Shit. Let me just replace him then. Dane Cook, my number 3.
Oh, solid pick. The Circle Jerk Tour or whatever that one was called. Right? That one was so good.
With a big palm on the stage. Like...
I'm kind of tempted to replace him now, even though he would whoever I replace him with would just.
Look, we did preface this that body of work matters.
Body of work does matter.
So he still works, and like I think Funny or Die is is enough. Like, Between Two Ferns.
Oh yeah,
with his viral stuff.
Ferns, that's great.
Yeah, he's got enough sketch going on to count as a stand-up, I think.
I would call Eric Andre stand-up, and I don't think he does stand-up.
If he considers stand-up, he's my number 2, and my entire fucking list is broken.
Oh, okay. Well, then we won't. Right. But Zach Galifianakis does have that one stand-up that I still watch over and over again. The Netflix special, Live at the Purple Onion.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite. Yeah, the one where he's just playing piano is just Stream of Conscious.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's intercut between him playing his fake brother, twin brother.
Yeah.
To a real NPR interviewer who's been on Reno 911, I think. He's just Fuji's and Funyuns and stuff like that. And oh my god. And yeah, his entire aura is just, I don't want to be here, and it makes for so much more comedy. And when there's like 15-20 minutes of crowd work in that special, and every time he interacts with somebody, he's just like, shut the fuck up. It's so funny, man. Like, oh my god, like when he's asking that dude, oh, you work at that place? Oh, what do you do there? Yeah, I work with computers. Fucking boring. It's so boring. I love that.
That's awesome.
And when he's talking to the guy up front who's like older, and he's like, you look like you don't belong here. Like, wait, you look like you came here by mistake. And then the guy was like, oh yeah, one of my friends back here saw Mort something. Mort, he's a comedian. He's like a political comic.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. He's kind of older. And he's like, yeah, if you love the political stylings of Mort Saul, whatever. Then you'll love the who fucked my mother jokes from Zach Galifianakis or whatever. He's just great on the fly.
Yeah.
He's a great writer. He had a show on VH1 for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And it was just completely batshit crazy, some of the stuff that he would do and say. Maybe that's what got him canceled. Maybe probably viewership though. But he is genius. This dude is so fucking smart.
Yeah.
In the comedy world, maybe not necessarily the dramedy world, because Baskets isn't landing with me. I wish it was.
Yeah, I think it suffers from a lack of really interesting peripheral characters. Like I like Chip enough, but I just don't care about really anybody else other than his mom.
Yeah, his mom.
And that's because
it's Louis Anderson, right? And because Louis Anderson totally fits a mom mold.
Right.
He totally does. What's your number 3, JD?
My number 3 is a French comedian. His name is Louis C.K. He's not French, actually.
Never.
Ah oui oui.
Never. Oui oui. Yeah, man, I love me some Louis C.K. He's new.
He's new. Okay.
Yeah, he's a young up and comer, full head of hair.
6-pack abs.
Yeah, not a curmudgeon at all. Doesn't sweat on stage.
Never
not a
talks
lick.
about his dick.
Total professional. Doesn't have a whole diatribe on the appropriate use of the word that shall not be named, the F word that we can't say or won't say.
Yeah. The fucking F word.
Yeah, not fucking F word.
If that should give people context on what F word.
I love that rant. That is.
I do too.
Me too. It's one of my all-time favorite rants ever.
For sure.
Right.
So yeah, I had to give him some top 3 love, and I love Louis.
That made the shit out of my coffee.
like when he does the over like just everything.
He does that. Oh my god, when he's talking about the F word, he's like, people from Phoenix are Phoenicians. Shut up! Put that dick in your mouth.
No, stop being yeah, dude. Everything about that special is hysterical, and
oh my god,
I love Louis. I love the show too. I'm really sad to see that one go.
It'll come back someday. I think.
I hope so.
I mean, the network is pretty much on his terms. They have no problem being on his terms. I understand it though because he's
huge.
He's huge.
Huge.
So big.
Huge. Yeah. Apparently, his real last name is like CK or it's something that's pronounced similar to CK. So he just went with CK.
Yeah.
Why go with the weird Czech spelling? Like why?
Smart career move.
Exactly. I love that dude. I might talk about him more. I don't know.
Okay, we'll see.
So, Kyle, what's your number? We're on 3 still, right?
See.
3.
Yeah. Number 3 is another politically distracted comic right now, who I'm sure will be coming out with new stuff soon. Patton Oswalt.
Oh,
nice.
Love this guy, man. Super nerdy. We'll go on rants about Dungeons and Dragons for a little bit in his special, but never to the point of like alienating people who've never played that game before or doing anything like that. I don't know. He's just he's just a really good joke writer. Really, really funny. I think he's going to be on the new Mystery Science Theater, which I'm really, really pumped for. Just really like this guy, man. The guy's had a really rough couple years. Then he loses his wife recently.
Yeah.
Oh, just rough for that guy, but still like kind of pushing forward, still doing comedy always, still a working comedian. I think he's up. He's LA based. He's weekly over there, So I mean, like that guy's still, putting his axe to the grind and everything. And I really like him. I can't wait for another special by him. Hopefully it's Netflix born, like a lot of these other good ones.
Yeah, it seems like that's the way to go nowadays.
Absolutely, you're full
Rogan
of
did it. Bill Burr did it.
Yep.
Louis C.K. is about to do it in April.
Simpsons did it.
Great reference.
Thank you.
I forgot what I was going to say on the guy. Besides, I like him. So good pick. Politically distracted is a great way.
Yeah.
to describe people.
I know.
To us, I mean, people will tell us that we're the ones distracted, but
oh, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It's all about perception, people.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And so I guess I'm at my number 2. Look, man, my top 2 are probably like, oh my god, my favorite people that create things in the world of comedy, period.
All right.
So my number 2 is Bo Burnham.
Nice.
This dude, talk about a fucking genius.
Yeah.
This dude deconstructs comedy on such a meta level. I don't know. There's just no way to describe it, almost. Because he describes it himself in his act. It's crazy, the shit that he does. And it lands in a funny way. It's not like, oh, it's just weird me sitting here talking to you with the microphone in my hand. It's really bizarre, right? It's not like that. It's always intelligent. His last special, it's either last year or the year before that. That's on Netflix. Is it? It's not What. It's the other one. What is great, too, though. Because it's got that song in the beginning where he's just like, I don't know, dancing around. And then there's a part where he stops and it's like, the lyrics are like, prolonged eye contact, and he's just staring at somebody. Fucking love that bit. That's so good. And he always has like pre-recorded like vocal parts interrupt his set. Not mid-joke or anything, but like he'll finish a joke, people will laugh, and then it'll be like, hey, Bo! Yeah? You're a faggot! And that'll be like the end of it. And he'll be like, oh. And then he'll go to his piano and do something else. Like, what the fuck was that?
That's awesome.
That's so messed up. And then he points out later, like, pay no mind to the fact that I recorded those myself earlier and I had them interrupt me in the middle of my show.
That's funny.
His songs are great. All of them. He's incredibly talented on the piano. He has that one song that's pretty much just making fun of arena country, which is just the lyrics of it. Pedigo's, I'm asking JD, Pedigo's played you the song, the title of the song, right?
Yeah.
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 So it's pretty much a version of that, but it's only about Arita country.
Okay.
But you
All
know
right.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
because it's all about how the song is built,
Okay.
and you know what exactly a country artist would be singing about at a certain verse or chorus.
Okay.
You know, title of the song, naive expression of love. I love that song. Kyle, you need to hear that song. That song's great. It's not a Bo Burnham song. Totally random.
Okay.
Totally random.
I was like, I don't think I've heard that one by him.
Yeah, I don't know who sings it either. I think it's like an improv group or something. But they're really good at singing too, so I don't know.
Cool.
But yeah, they're literally just singing what a song is. Like, reluctance to accept that you are gone. It's so ridiculous. But yeah, Bo Burnham does things on such a meta level, and I get that some people might have to be in a certain mood for that.
Yeah.
It's just not. I mean, it's not that way for me. I can watch them anytime and get something out of them.
Yeah.
And I will have to rewind a few times because there's
there's a
jokes
lot.
upon jokes upon jokes,
Yeah.
and you're like, wait, what did he just say? Like, it's pretty nuts.
What I struggled with was every time I really tried to dive into him, I just wasn't really in the mood for it.
Yeah,
So
he does move very, very, very quickly through
Yeah.
his act. I love his music. And in the end of his last special, he does an entire bit to Kanye because Kanye was at the time of his special when he recorded it. Kanye was kind of like known for going on like a long ass song where he's just improvising like lyrics and they make no sense. Like, there was a long line at McDonald's, and it's just you know, it's auto-tune,
right.
and that's the entire last like 8 minutes of his set is a dumb song about I don't like beans on my burrito at Chipotle. It's fucking stupid, but it's entirely in parody or homage, I guess, of Kanye, because you can picture those words coming out of Kanye's mouth.
Right.
Yeah, it's so funny. So, JD, what is your number 2?
Well, I don't know if you guys have heard of this guy or not.
Oh, boy.
We'll see. That is Senor David fucking Chappelle, Esquire. Yeah, I gave him the number 2 spot. Probably would have been a little bit lower if he wasn't on the horizon, but I'm so fucking... Yes, that.
If he wasn't black.
If he wasn't black.
Jesus.
That's terrible. I'm sorry.
Stone Cold, you got your affirmative action.
You got your fucking Roe v. Wade. That's not even the right. That's abortion.
Abortions.
You got fucking Jim Crow, affirmative action.
Oh my god.
You would not expect Stone Cold to be ever talking about that.
You're Clarence Darrow. You're Frederick Douglass. Just name.
Still alive and kicking it, giving good ideas.
Awesome. Great segue.
Oh my god.
It's honestly my excitement level for Chappelle that has him so high for me.
Right.
I mean, like we've talked about, we've gushed over the guy for the last couple weeks between this and talking about Chappelle's show. He's relevant as shit. And I even though, like you were saying, his recordings take place post or pre-election and all that stuff, the climate is really not that much different.
It's not.
So
that movement was still there.
Yeah, so I still think his stuff is going to be relevant, even though it's not coming from this.
Maybe even painfully relevant. Like,
Yeah.
Like, we should have had this stand-up sooner.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yep.
I'm
But
excited,
man, I can't wait. So you said this is going to be coming out tomorrow as of when the episode airs.
Yeah.
In the future.
Sorry, everybody, we didn't record this on Monday.
No, yeah, we recorded at 4 a.m. on Monday, so it could be posted.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on, get your head out of your ass, people.
I don't know what that voice is.
I don't know.
Like
A newscaster? Come on, man, get your head out of your ass.
We got the giggles today, man. I'm sorry, Kyle. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Louis C.K.
All right.
All right.
Gotta love him. He's good stuff, man. Strangely, I'm hearing too much, not from a lot, just a lot of people in my life where it's just like, yeah, you know, Louis C.K. is like, no, I really don't like that guy. I'm like, well, you go fuck yourself. That's kind of the reaction I have to most people whenever they're like, yeah, I just don't find him funny. I'm like, oh, you don't like to laugh?
I look
You're
at
just
the
not
guy.
you're not a laugher then, you know, that's fine. Yeah, comedy's subjective and all that, whatever. But yeah, I just find him, he's top of the game, man. He's number, you know, like he's like a trendsetter, you know, like now everyone's doing, remember when he did the pay what you want like comedy model or whatever, and then everyone did that. Like, such a huge trendsetter. And the guy's just like, I know he didn't start the whole Seinfeld movement or whatever, but every show post Louis feels like a Louis ripoff now. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like, I know, like, you know, hey, I'm a guy and I'm a struggling stand-up comedian, and this is the show about me and my circle of friends or my family or X, Y, and Z. It's very Seinfeld, but like now whenever it's done, I feel like it's a Louis ripoff to me, and not in always a bad way. Like when Mulaney gets his own show, and when Pete Holmes gets his own show, I'm like, oh, we're going down a Louis C.K. like route right now, which is good. You know, it's good.
Yeah.
Jim Jeffries, exactly. And I like this old HBO show, Lucky Louie. That's funny. That's
that
stuff,
one
man.
is really great. And they legitimately, his demands as a producer was, we have to do this live, because nobody's done a show like this live. It's funny. It's completely raunchy.
Yeah,
and
it's great
and hilarious, and about real life as a parent. You know, instead of like this manufactured whatever. You know, it's about true compromise and stuff. And you're saying really questionable things out loud.
Yeah.
You want to hear the audience reacting. So, like, that's a rarity, that show. And
I like that a lot.
It's only like 13 episodes.
Yeah.
I know. What a shame. What a shame.
Fucking HBO.
If only there were a podcast that talked about shows that needed to be revived. Or
I know.
Something like
I
that.
know. Yeah, they should probably.
Well, you know what? He had Louis after that, so it was kind of like.
We did get.
I was okay with that, you know.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess we could have put Louis in the mix for a revival, but there was a giant question mark about whether
he's coming back
he
or
was
not.
going to come back, because he said, I don't know, I might be done telling stories about that guy. But at the same time, if he called FX and said, I think I'm ready, they would just let him come back.
Yeah, right.
So, I don't know. I still think it's a question mark, despite what he said.
Yeah.
Because sometimes he just says things. So that kind of segues into my number one. Because Louis C.K. is my number one. It's so fucking obvious for me. I mean, I mean,
so we
I
got
talk
a 3,
about this
a 2,
guy.
and a 1. All right. That's good.
It's good.
I talk about this guy so much. It's crazy. I've seen all of his specials at least like 5 times.
Yeah.
Probably chewed up more than any other. And it's amazing. To use a bit from one of his own specials. Oh, really? Chicken fingers are amazing? What if you went to heaven and Jesus was there and you opened the gates? What are you going to call that? Because you said amazing about chicken fingers.
Oh, man.
Yeah, anybody that doesn't like him, and I have at least one person in my life that doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a little bit of the
I just disconnect them,
shtick.
like Scientology style. I just disconnect
Yeah, they're weird. I don't need that kind of shit in my life.
Oh boy, but yeah, he's the first one that I watched. I think I watched a little bit of the HBO one, which was like One Night Stand, when they had a half-hour special for like all those comics that you'll recognize now, but back then we didn't recognize them. Yeah. And he was still in his early writing phases of comedy, where it was kind of straightforward joke. You know what I mean? Here's a setup and here's a joke. And it was just kind of like, you ever notice how we do this? We never noticed how we do that. It was a lot of that stuff. Yeah. Which was funny. It was funny, and then he started doing the whole. I think this was the same special where he talked about having a bumper sticker where it was like I fucked your mom or something like that. I can't remember what the bumper sticker said, but like it's like, can you imagine being the guy that gets legitimately mad at that? And you follow the guy. Hey, what is that? Oh, it said tell your mom I said thanks or something like that. And he's like, can you imagine just being the guy getting fuming mad and following the guy with that bumper sticker home? And he's like, hey, what is that supposed to mean? Did you fuck my girlfriend? Did you fuck my mom or whatever? And then pull out in front of me in traffic randomly and find me and drive in front of me?
Nailed it.
I think that was like the first, like, and that was the whole bag of dicks, I think, joke.
That's right.
That was a special too. So you got little hints of where he was going to take his career.
Right.
And then I think him telling more jokes about being a dad really landed, even though I'm not a parent at all.
Yeah.
Just landed completely in the special Chewed Up and the one live in not Chicago. It was one that was released on his website. The first one that he did on his website.
I have that one downloaded. Yeah,
I think it's on. I think it's on Netflix now too.
Is it live at the Beacon Theater?
Yes, it's that one where he's talking about the dumb kid at school, and that shit is so fucking funny.
That's the one with Of course it is.
Yeah.
But maybe.
No, that one is,
is that the one
HBO.
before?
That's the HBO special. I think it's called Oh My God or something like
Yes.
that.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then after that, he did one that was just exclusively on his website again. He went back to the smaller scale Comedy Store.
Right.
And that one is now on Netflix too. He's had a lot of stuff on and off of Netflix. People should really go watch all of his specials. I think they're really great. Yep. And we already talked about Louis being a really great show. Still one of my favorite shows of all time. I don't know if it's in my top 10 of all time or not, but it has a fighting chance, at least.
Could be.
It might be. Hell, it still might be. I mean, because I think all the way through it's been entirely solid.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my number one. I could literally just do one podcast about Louis C.K.
Yeah.
And just quote his bits all day. His man bits. So, JD, what's your number one?
My number one is Aziz Ansari. I love his stand-up.
Is this for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Aziz. And
hey, Kyle, do you like Aziz?
not so much.
Yeah, not a stand-up. Not a big fan of his stand-up. I like, dude, he's hilarious in Parks and Rec. Like, yeah. I like him. You know, he's hilarious.
There's something about the way, especially the way he talks about his little cousin Harris. Like, it's like you never see a fat Indian kid. You know, you just never see his little chubby Indian kid. He's like a shooting star, except he's fat, brown, and on the ground. Like, I don't know why. That one just gets me.
Who watches Burn Notice?
Harris watches Burn Notice. It's like, Harris, you like it more than Dark Knight? Yeah. You like it more than Las Vegas? Yeah. You like it more than Burn Notice? No. It's great. So I like him a lot. I don't know if he's
a lot. No kidding. Number one.
Yeah. I like his stand up a lot.
I liked his first one was at least the first one that I heard. I can't even remember. I'm really bad.
Dangerously Delicious.
Might be that one.
Yeah, he's wearing the silver suit in that one.
That's the one that I'm most familiar with. The one with the silver suit.
See, I don't remember the name of it.
I like his.
I don't.
His Kanye stuff. His because he like tells stories about his little interactions with Kanye. Like he goes to Kanye's house and Kanye's listening to himself. He's like, "Yeah, that's a dope beat. That's a dope beat." And Aziz tries to get his attention. He's like, "Yo, hold on 1 second, man." Like, I don't know. And then he sees it. There's like a telescope in the room. He's like, "Hold on, I'm gonna go look at the girl with the big titties." Like,
I do love that story. Yeah.
So yeah,
hey man, these are some dope ass jokes.
Just dope ass jokes.
Ha ha ha! I'm hilarious.
Yeah, and I like his little Randy shtick to the Randy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And I like him because I do a good Aziz voice.
His last two specials were pretty good to me, but they kind of run together.
Yeah.
Dangerously Delicious is good.
Yeah.
The one before it was really good.
Yep.
I can't remember the name of it though, but I listened to it a lot. So Kyle, that brings us to your illustrious number.
This is a big surprise for me. What my number one ended up being this year. It was after all this stuff recently that this comedian did with another comedian. It's actually Tom Segura.
Wow,
man, I've been on this huge Tom Segura kick lately, and I don't know why. And it's because of this Tom is fat and Bert is fat thing, where they were trying to lose weight, and they ended up both losing a shit ton of weight over like a 6-month period. Like, like they look really like healthy now and stuff like that. But like the way that they were doing it was just so mean. Like they were getting each other's like fan bases to like personally attack each other and stuff like that. But it was all out of good fun. Like neither of them were like getting their feelings hurt, but they were getting like mail and all this stuff. And it was just hilarious. And now I'm at the point where I'm listening to his podcast. Which I don't need any more podcasts in my life right now. Anywhere that he is like guesting on, I'll listen to that podcast, even though I don't listen to that particular podcast. So he's just hilarious, and his wife is hilarious too. And they're like oh my god, there's such a duo of comedy, man. Like their podcast is straight comedy. Like it's like Joe Rogan. When you listen to 3 hours of him, you're usually getting like a conversation. There's some substance there.
Yeah.
There is you're not going to take anything away from their podcast other than like getting laughs and stuff like that. I think it's called Your Mom's House, I believe it's called.
That makes sense.
Just, man, yeah, that guy's really, he's, and I remember like when we were listening like on all of our road trips, Jeff, and he would always keep on coming up like in the Pandora or Spotify, like random. And like every single one of them kill, and then I started watching all of his stand-up comedies and stuff like that, his specials, and his specials are just so good.
Yeah.
Again, we're talking about delivery and cadence and the way that he just like, I don't know, like the way that he just talks. I just really like it.
I don't know. There was one bit that he did.
Yeah, it's the yeah. Like he's like, I encourage you to do your best black voice in public, and he talks about how he runs into Big Daddy Kane and how he's like, I gotta do it. Yo, Kane, like, sup Kane, or something like that from a distance.
Sup Kane,
sup Kane. Like, yeah, I fucking love Tom Segura, man. He's an honorable mention for me.
For me too.
Awesome.
So
yeah,
good.
We're gonna have
he was doing crowd work at one point, and somebody said his name. He misheard him or something. It was like Randy, and he was like, "No, Brad," and he was like, "Oh, Brad, motherfucker!" Like, just repeating it back to him, like he was just mad. I don't know. It made me laugh super hard. He's good at crowd work too. People that are good at crowd work, I mean,
they're the survivors.
Yeah, it's for real.
He's funny, man. I love him.
And I think Aziz has some crowd work in him. Louis doesn't do any of that.
No.
Good for him. Because I remember him talking about it in his show, which has some truth to it, because he tried to do some crowd work. And you're like, where are you from? Kentucky? Oh, that's like shitty, right? It's just kind of like, that's just kind of shitty. Nobody's laughing.
In its own way, it is crowd work, though, because that's authentic. That's what I would expect him to do when he's interacting with somebody. Just like, fuck off, I don't care.
So those are our top 10s, and now we're going to make our 16-seeded bracket.
All right.
Which is, it's just a blend of our top 10s and a top 16 instead. And we're going to do something interesting after we craft the bracket. Stay tuned for that. So I guess the highest commonality is Louis.
Yeah. That's the easy number 1 seed for sure.
And do we have any commonalities?
Chappelle?
Ooh,
All right, Chappelle. I didn't have him on my list, but I would be happy with putting him at 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever.
Okay. Well, I had him. He was my number 2. What was he on yours?
5.
Number 5. Okay.
We can just go Chappelle.
All right.
Yeah, I feel good with that.
And Birbiglia is like the only other one, I think.
Yeah.
Birbiglia is another one I'd stand behind if y'all want to put him at number 3.
Babigaboo. That's my go-to for some reason whenever I talk about him. Oh man, Mike Babigaboo. Mike Bahuski here at the Laugh Factory. I guess at a certain point we got to start looking at our number 1s.
Yeah.
But yeah, Birbiglia was your number 4, JD, and my number 8.
Yeah.
Kyle and I had Jeselnik in common.
I'm totally okay with putting him.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of high.
Well, I'm just saying wherever, like in 16, wherever you guys
okay.
feel like putting him, because he's.
Well, I feel like we should start. Well, yeah, let's start going back to the number 1s. Tom Segura, I kind of feel should go over Aziz in my opinion.
Okay.
If that's okay.
That's fine.
Nothing against Aziz. I actually watch and enjoy his specials. Is he an honorable mention for me? I think I might have removed that. Yeah, I removed that motherfucker. No,
fuck that guy.
Motherfucker.
Fuck that fucking guy right in the fucking face. All right. That's stupid. So you guys have your 1 and 2. Yeah, your number 1 and 2 are represent. Is Bo Burnham cool at 6 or?
Yeah.
I'm totally happy with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably an oversight on mine that I didn't
Bo
put
Burnham.
Oversight on me as well.
So now we're at our respective number 3s. JD's has his. Patton Oswalt's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Patton Oswalt. He won a Grammy last year for Talking for Clapping, I think is the name of the special. Which is a great name for a special.
Yeah.
Talking for Clap. Yeah, I like that.
It's a great name. I'm gonna let's pretend I didn't write Zach Galifianakis. So this is where we can ignore that suggestion, even though I do love his stand-up. From
his stand-up's great, but yeah.
And,
it's also 20 years old.
Maybe we can put Jeselnik here now.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
You think so?
What number is that?
No, I had him at 10, and you had him at 8. Is that too?
But what are we at? What are we putting?
We're at number 8 now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's good.
Okay, might as well.
If something else comes up, we can bump him down.
Oh, okay.
You know.
I think we've all have our top 3 represented. Oh, not mine because I'm not going to talk about that. We have Daniel Tosh next, Joe Rogan, and I guess you're number 5, Jim Jeffries.
Yeah.
So.
I would do Tosh over Rogan.
Yeah,
if
Tosh
y'all are
over
okay with that.
Rogan.
Yeah.
I have no problem putting.
I'd probably put Rogan above Jeffries too, just being objective, because he, like Kyle said, he's kind of like
he's a fighter,
a fixture of the comedy world.
Right.
Jim Jeffries at he's your number 5 though, so I guess we should kind of backtrack a little bit. So Kyle has to tell at number 5. My number 5 is Chappelle. So yeah, never mind. We're good. Jim Jeffries.
Okay.
Jim Jeffries.
Oh boy.
All right. So Kyle has a tell. Oh yeah. So I guess we can just go David Tell then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
David.
Esquire Attell.
Yeah. And then we have all of our top 5s are represented. So good for us.
Sweet.
We did a good job with that. So at number 6 we have my number 6 is Tig. JD has Bill.
Bill Burr, how you doing? I'm Bill Burr.
And Ari Shaffir.
What am I supposed to do?
All right. So we have Ari, Bill Burr, and Tig Notaro.
I like Ari a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna see. This is good. We could put him here, and I can just educate myself. I have no problem.
You should. I think we should force you to educate yourself on him because you'll love him.
What would you say, Kyle? He does a story on like half the episodes.
Yeah, he does the story on most of the episodes. I would say, yeah. He's the opener. Yeah.
One of my honorable mentions did a bit on that show. Y'all probably never heard of him outside of. Well,
Who?
You haven't heard of him at all, Jeff, because you've never watched the show.
No, I haven't.
Well, I'll mention it when we get there.
Fuck your show. All right, so
it's not happening.
So between Tig Notaro and Bill Burr, who should we go with?
Is this for the last spot?
Yeah, because we're gonna fight. We're gonna have a preliminary match for 15 and 16. So now we're at 14.
All right, so we've already got Segura in there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so put Tig in there,
and then you'll pick.
and then I'll make a case for
get a
Bill
lady
Burr
up
as
there.
an honorable mention.
So the number 14 seed is Tig Notaro.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do now, since this is a big topic, it deserves a preliminary matchup to determine the final 2 seeds.
Yeah.
Number 15 and 16. And what we're going to do is we're each going to go around. We're each going to select 2 in the order that we've been revealing our 10.
Mm-hmm.
And we're each going to select 2. It can either be from our 10 or our honorable mentions, or one or the other. It doesn't matter. And then we're going to narrow those total 6 down to 4. And somehow decide who fights each other.
Yeah.
We're just gonna kind of wing this one. Anyway, so I'll go first since I've been revealing my picks first, I believe. Yeah, I have been. And so my 2 picks are going to be Dimitri Martin and Douglas. I'm trying to think of a fake middle name. I couldn't do it. Doug Stanhope. So JD, who would be your 2?
I like Doug Stanhope. My 2, it's going to be a big shock. Probably for the room here. Bill Burr.
Oh, is
Bill
that
Burr.
hold on, is that... Can't even do an impression anymore. Bill Burr, how you doing?
How you doing? I want to get a gun.
I'm making him sound like fucking Joe Pesci.
Hey.
Yeah, Bill Burr, how you doing?
How you doing?
Fuck me.
Oh my god. All right, so him, and then a more obscure comedian. I hope y'all have heard of him, Brian Regan.
Oh, no, maybe. I don't know.
I definitely didn't know that you guys have already heard about him. But we're putting him in there.
Yeah,
Brian Regan's in the mix.
I'm just telling you for the first time that I've heard of him.
Cool.
All right, so Kyle, what are 2 of your picks?
I'm gonna do Pete Holmes and Bert Kreischer.
Okay.
Totally heard of that guy.
I'm gonna pretend that I know who Bert Kreischer is, so we can get through this.
He's funny.
Yeah, Jeff, you need to go out of your way to watch this guy. Seriously.
Okay.
I agree. Absolutely. He's great.
My Pete Holmes impression is visual because it's just him smiling all the time. All right, so I do love that guy though. So I don't know how we do this. Is this a matter of So we have
to agree on a top 4.
We have to agree on 4 out of those 6. So Dimitri Martin, Doug Stanhope, Bill Burr.
Let's
Brian
do. Oh, never mind. That's not gonna work. Go ahead.
Brian Regan, Bert Kreischer, and Pete Holmes.
Shit.
I
think Stanhope is
should be in there.
Should be in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
That's
great.
He's a strong comic.
Yeah. He's like Michael.
Really strong.
He looks like Michael Keaton if he's smoked since the age of 4.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh man, but he's got the rage of like
him,
grandma with Alzheimer's
Yeah.
who voted for Trump or
Who's
something.
just
I don't
violently mad that you're stealing her money.
know. He's so good. His rant on marriage
Oh.
is so good and exactly me in my head when I think about marriage. Okay. Anyway, this shit that we do is so good. We got to get the government in on this shit. Anyway, it's a great bit. I'm for Stanhope, so I'm gonna put his. And you're for it too, Kyle?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So he's one of our 4.
Okay.
I feel unfair. I mean, if y'all both vouch for Bert Kreischer.
Yeah. I haven't seen a whole lot of his stuff, but he's just got a funny.
Oh, he's got such an energy to him.
And
oh my gosh! And
he's
yeah,
one of
and his
those
shirt
where-
always comes off, and he's not a flattering looking
he just,
being.
yeah,
You know?
he just takes his shirt off. It's great. And he's kind of got that Fallon quality, but it's not annoying where he laughs at his own jokes.
Right.
Yeah,
But
but his laugh
they're
is
that
infectious,
fucking
though.
funny.
Yeah.
You understand it. It's not obnoxious that he's laughing at himself.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's great. So I can vouch for him.
Hmm.
Stamp of approval.
Okay. Well, let's. We can put Kreischer in there. I don't want to be unfair just because I haven't heard of somebody, you know?
Yeah.
If we feel... Do we feel stronger for him than we would about Bill Burr, Brian Regan, or Pete Holmes? Or... I'm just eliminating Dimitri
I
Martin.
mean, I do, so that would
Okay.
kind of, y'all would have to talk that out.
Okay.
All right.
I'm okay with putting him in there.
All right. Cool.
He's in our 4, so we got 2 spots left. Pete Holmes, Brian Regan. Well, we got to consider one of JD's picks here.
I like Brian Regan.
All right.
Yeah, I like Brian Regan too.
I mean, I like Bill Burr. I like Bill Burr too. I'm not like against Bill Burr. But yeah, I mean, if we're talking about better stand-up comedy, I think I like Brian Regan stand-up comedy better.
I've laughed
Plus,
at Brian Regan's more.
get a
that
little,
makes me really happy.
clean
Brian
comic up
Regan
there.
is
Let's get some clean. We got Mike Birbiglia up there, but we don't have a lot of clean comics on this list.
And he's creative as shit. I love his
So
faces. His
creative.
voices are
Oh my
just
gosh!
hysterical for me. A lot of memories listening to
Are
him.
these my glasses?
The big yellow one is the sun. The big yellow one is the sun.
I do like him a lot.
He's great.
He's fantastic. He is just
I saw him live in
Sweetheart.
Dallas, actually.
Nice.
Like 10 years ago, maybe? Everything was 10 years ago.
Everything is 10 years ago now. Shit, that's the new
I
yesterday.
hate that. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So now we got 1 spot left for either Pete Holmes
Bill Burr.
or Dimitri Martin. These are all completely different stand-up comics.
Yeah.
Completely different.
I'm not super familiar with Pete Holmes off the top of my head. I mean,
Really?
I know the name, but
I could
like
probably,
let me look his face. Let me see what his face
I
looks
could
like.
probably do Dimitri Martin.
You think?
I mean, I could
I like
probably,
Dimitri.
yeah.
Dimitri's
I like
a strong comic, yeah. And Bill Burr is, like I said, he's hit and miss with me, so I don't know.
Yeah, and the weight of his newer stuff, I think, kind of brings him down a
Brings
little bit.
it down.
Oh yeah. Pete Holmes. Yeah, duh.
Yeah.
I like him.
Did you see his show? His TBS show was great.
Yeah.
Such a shame it was.
Oh yeah, no one watched that at all.
Yeah. Man, this is tough.
It is tough. So I think it's between him and Pete Holmes then, and this is really tough for me too because Pete Holmes' jokes are on such a nerdy level at some points when he talks about
Yeah.
video games.
Yeah.
Oh
Like
yeah.
he did this entire bit. It's like a 3-minute bit, Kyle, where he talks about I don't know who's the guy that not a gorilla. It's a video game character that would like eat grapes and not eat grapes, eat bananas and barrels. or whatever.
Donkey Kong.
Was it Donkey Kong?
Yes, that's exactly what you're explaining.
It is, but he mentioned the character by name, and it was a totally different charter.
Oh.
I can't remember.
I don't know. If
Oh
you're
yeah,
talking
he was like,
bananas and
sometimes
barrels.
I'll find a piece of meat, like just a raw piece of meat, and I'll just like eat it. And the doctor's like, you'll just eat a piece. He goes on for a long time with this
Okay.
video game character talking to a doctor.
Oh, okay.
It's so
Okay,
fucking
all right.
funny.
I like that.
There's sometimes I'll just like see a meat just like floating there in the air, and I'll just like walk towards it and eat it.
Awesome.
I kind of want to go. Dimitri Martin gets a lot of credit, and he's making movies now and stuff.
Yeah.
Pete Holmes, I feel like he doesn't get a fair shake, man. I know he's got Crashing going on right now,
Yeah.
but his stand-up, and I feel like I have to expose this guy to more people.
Yeah,
And
Let's do
his
it.
show got canceled, and I feel bad about that. So
Let's do it.
let's do it then.
let's go with Pete Holmes.
All right.
Yep.
Should we just, for the sake of objectivity, should we just go alphabetical and like?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do that.
All right. So we got alphabetically speaking, Ooh, it's 2 of Kyle's. Alphabetically speaking, it's Bert Kreischer versus Pete Holmes.
How did both of mine make it? That's crazy. Jesus Christ. I'd go Bert Kreischer personally. Just for me. I know it's going to be hard for you to say that, Jeff, because you haven't seen one of them, but...
Right. I mean, it's hard for me to go one way.
Yeah.
I mean, it is difficult to admit it, I guess, but I mean, I would go Pete Holmes because I just know his stuff.
Right.
But if JD, you know Bert Kreischer too. So.
Yeah, I think Bert Kreischer is gonna win it for me.
Okay. We'll just make him 15. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Cool.
No, I don't think either of these places
going in.
ones don't matter. So,
Probably not. But this is still fun though, just to have a little bit of extra conversation about
And then we have, this is a much tougher one, Brian Regan versus, Doug Stanhope. This might not be that tough.
Yeah, Doug Stanhope.
Talk about polar opposites too,
Right.
like on the clean spectrum.
Yeah. Douglas? Sir Douglas?
Jehovah Stanhope. Yeshua.
That's a good 16, man. This is a really good
Solid
16. Yeah. I like that Stanhope got in there, man. That dude is...
Me too. He was lingering on my top 10 for a bit,
10
but just
for
kept getting bumped.
a while.
Yeah. He's going to have an interesting matchup in that first round.
I can't wait to rewatch some of his stuff. It's been a couple of years.
And what's great about him, I always pair him, for some reason, with Louis C.K. I don't know if it's because...
Well, they're friendly.
Yeah, and he was like the dude that was going to kill himself on
he was
on
in
Louis' show, right?
Yeah, he was in Louis.
Yeah, I think that was him.
Yeah.
Like Eddie, and he kept talking about wanting to kill himself, and
Something
Louis'
like that.
what am I supposed to do with that information?
Yeah.
Like, why are you telling
Why are
me
you telling
this?
me?
But I always pair them together because I think he opened for Louis at a certain point or something. I think it was because like I googled stand up like Louis C.K. and it came up Doug Stanhope, and he ended up being way more Carlin-esque than Louis C.K. was. I love that guy though. He's great.
Yeah.
He needs to be watched by more people
For sure.
So lesson learned for this episode: if you haven't heard any of these people, go fucking listen to them.
No shit.
Or watch them or whatever medium they're on. Apparently, I have some educating to do.
You apparently have the most homework to do, Jeff, don't you?
Which is crazy.
That's weird. Yeah, it's really weird to me.
So stay tuned for our next episode where we're going to have these comedians battle, even though they probably won't like it. They won't like that idea at all. In real life, probably. It's
this
like putting
is gonna
up.
be tough to debate.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one to debate, especially because of different styles.
Yeah.
Like almost all of them have completely different styles.
Like it might come down to like what's their best special versus their best special.
Right.
Like,
It's true.
yeah.
Anything to move the conversation along, probably.
Yeah. But I think, like you said, all mediums, all of their body of work are in the conversation.
This is going to be fun because it's going to be tough.
Yes.
So I'm excited. You guys stay tuned for the Facebook page, Entertournament of Champions, and I will post the bracket up there for everybody to see later in the week. Go watch Dave Chappelle's special tomorrow for sure. Check us out on iTunes, obligatory, and SoundCloud and Stitcher and TuneIn and shit like that.
Yo.
And I've been Jeff, joined by Kyle and JD.
All right.
Hi.
Bye.
Hi, bye now.
Yeah, we're gonna say bye now.
You can find me, Jeff, on Twitter at Jeff Whitty, WIDDY, and I write stuff for sub-culture.com. Should have a Kong Skull Island review up there shortly, which kind of seems like I'm shitting on the movie in the review, but just hear me out. It's still, there's a lot of spectacle to it, so I don't...
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And also write for horrorgeeklife.com, which I just posted something on there. If we're halfway through March, go read what I just wrote like a week ago about movies you should see in March. There's some in there that apparently got mixed reviews already, and I'm kind of like, well, whatever. We should still see them. Make your own decision. Check me out there. Kyle. Your places and
if you check for me on Twitter, it'll just be me flicking you off. That's just a picture of me flicking you off. I should do that because I know I have a phantom Twitter account there, and I should just make a picture of that. So don't catch me there. I don't give a fuck about that. You can't catch me on Facebook. I write for sub-culture.com. I usually Twitch stream, but there's too many games right now that are single player, and I don't want to Twitch stream for anybody. Everyone's just got to deal with it. I'm playing my single player games right now.
Right.
But that's it. That's it for me.
Sweet, man. JD, are you places or just here?
Ish.
Oh,
for
okay.
both. You can find me at Bigger Than My Podcast.
Yeah, you're on there frequently.
Yeah, where we talk about fucking John Mayer and his tunes and do bad versions of songs.
John Mayer, your body,
John Mayer,
Jern.
Your bird to catch, your bird to learn.
What the fuck?
That's my only contribution other than this to the internet, pretty much at all.
Cool, man. Well, thanks guys for joining me and shit and doing this on a lovely Monday. It's totally a Monday. Let's just keep that up.
Yeah.
Let's keep that up.
Yeah.
No, but it totally is Monday, so let's not pretend. So
can't wait to watch Legends of Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Oh my God, said nobody ever on a Monday.
I would hope so, because the CW
That show's still on?
shows are terrible. They're terrible. Write me. I don't give a shit.
Legends of Tomorrow, starring the cast from Prison Break. What could go wrong?
I'm Captain Cole.
I have a heat gun.
I am a terrible actor.
I'm Wentworth Miller.
He is so bad. I fucking hate that guy.
Yeah, he's
I don't hate him. That's wrong to say.
Yeah, he seems like a reasonably good dude.
You know what, Jeff? I hate him. I hate that guy. He's the one who's doing these roles. He's actually doing it. Fuck that guy.
You're gonna piss off the Wentworth Miller fan base.
No, yeah, all three of them.
People are gonna be really angry at you.
I can't believe you would say that about Jimmy Wentworth.
Wentworth Miller's my favorite actor of 21st century.
Not my Captain Cole.
Speaking of current things, though, Iron Fist is happening, and
Yeah.
Kyle, I think he's further ahead than me, which is a rare thing.
Man, it's a slog. Like, there's like 40% of that show that I'm enjoying, but unfortunately the other 60% is just a goddamn homework. So,
Yeah, I feel about that. I'm 4 deep.
remember how I go, man, I hope we don't dwell in the corporate world too much. You do.
Yeah, you do.
No, that's the whole fucking show is like, are we going to get brand industries like off the... Oh, fuck off with all this.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
It's
could
like
give
if
a
they
shit
only
focused on the Daredevil
law
firm.
stuff?
Yeah. That's
exactly,
all they did.
yeah. Like, the whole show is just about Froggy trying to get, like,
Froggy.
cases. It's like, no. What was his name? Is that
Froggy,
Froggy?
it's Foggy.
Foggy, whatever.
It's not any better.
No, it's not. It's still
Yeah.
he's Fulton Reed from Mighty Ducks.
He
by
is,
the way.
I know that.
And now he's
Yeah.
short compared to.
He is. I didn't.
Because he was always
I
the
guess
big
he had a
tall
growth.
guy.
I guess he hit a growth spurt at that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny, man.
When he did Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
That movie's really weird, by the way. But yeah, Iron Fist, underwhelming. That's how I would describe
I
it.
finally got a couple really good fight scenes. Really good.
Finally got
Woo!
some.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh man, thank
We've been
God.
4 episodes in and there hasn't been a fight yet.
Well,
Or
Colleen
barely
Wing
been a
has
fight?
had some good fights.
Okay.
In some
But
cage-
they're not
cage
like
matches.
Daredevil hallway scene level
No.
fights, man.
I haven't even watched Luke Cage yet, so it's gonna be tough given all the.
Might not be that tough. There's nobody from Luke Cage in this except for Rosario Dawson. But
Should I watch
you've
Iron
seen her
Fist
before.
first? Do you think?
It doesn't matter.
I don't because
Just watch it before Defenders.
yeah,
Yeah.
Watch it
them
all
before Defenders.
first, yeah.
I don't think it matters. I don't know that there's any callback other than maybe when Rosario Dawson shows up, she's gonna make a reference to a bulletproof guy or something.
Okay.
And he'll be like,
Yeah, they
who's
bring
that?
up, they bring up, like someone brings up, it's like, I hired a private detective, but she's not sober anymore. You're like, oh, that's Jessica Jones. You know, they'll have little stuff like that.
Oh,
in there.
nice. Yeah.
Jessica!
I like purple.
All right, so see you guys next week when
Yeah.
we debate these comedians because it's fun. And I'm gonna go educate myself in Burt Kreischer. So see you guys later.
Cool. Adios.
I waved like they can see it.